to this month's challenge with Sarah for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club. So this month I chose to go with the Mood Board Challenge, and I am going to be using some of this Vicki Boutin mixed media paper. So my thoughts on this paper are that it is pretty much Basil cardstock. It's Basil Marshmallow cardstock, which is the really good cardstock that you can do a lot of mixed media on it. And I had trouble with the sizing of it because when I pulled it out of the pad, the sizing, like, there was a hole in it. I had to cut it down. It was weird. So anyway, off camera, I went ahead and I painted this gorgeous floral from Cocoa Vanilla Studio with these 3 colors of Shimmer's paint. That is Moulin Rouge, Moon Rock, and Hi Ho Silver. And I love them. And then the rest of this process is going to be completed using only scraps. So we have the Vicki Boutin mixed media paper, some black cardstock to go behind because I had to trim my cardstock down, because I had to trim that mixed media paper down, and then the rest is just scraps. So I had so much fun painting that flower, and I decided I wanted to do a little bit of those colors in the background. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do the paint. You can do it straight, and you can see the effect it gives there, or you can make it go just a little bit further and hit it with some water to do the packaging technique. Both works well. I kind of think I prefer the water just to preserve more of the paint. And while those pots of paint are not large, I have gotten tons of layouts out of both of these, out of all of my little pots of paint without a problem. Excuse me. So they pack a big punch, and they are very inexpensive. So that is a positive as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this pink color. And the nice thing is that, and this is true with this paper, it's also very true with the marshmallow cardstock, is that it keeps things kind of open, like it stays wet, the paint stays wet on top of the cardstock. It doesn't soak in right away, so you can move it around a little bit. And that's something I really like. So that's going to be my photo. And I'm just going to continue to go ahead and do the edges and around my layout, all the different places I want to add these 3 colors. These are going to be the main colors of my layout. And so I'm just going in and kind of painting things up where I want it to be. Sorry for my head being in the way. Every time I do mixed media, every time I paint on a video, my head's in the way, which is why I didn't film me painting all those flowers, because really you would have just been looking at the back of my head. So I finished off my background, and now I'm cutting squares. Lots and lots and lots of squares. So these were all the offcuts that I had of that beautiful floral paper from Cocoa Vanilla Studio, and I'm just cutting squares out of them. And I'm going to use the squares almost like you would use, a lot of people do this layout, but they use it with circles a lot. But I used squares. So for those of you who were part of the scrap party last month, you saw us talk about layers. And so I left my entire layering process into this video so that you could get an idea. You could see in kind of like real time how I layer things. And this is a chipboard, and this is, all of my products are Cocoa Vanilla. I don't know, there are a multitude of different lines, but they're all Cocoa Vanilla. So this is one of the papers, and I'm just going to let you kind of watch my layering more so than voice over it, I guess, simply because it's pretty simple. Like, I just layer stuff. I don't know how to describe it. I have such a hard time when people say, how do you layer? Well, I take a whole mess of scraps, and I take a whole bunch of embellishments that I think I want to put around my photo, and I just put them around my photo. There's no rhyme, no reason, no method to my madness. I just pop it around. So I'll play a little bit of music and let you watch me layer for a minute. So now I have everything layered up exactly the way that I wanted it. And I have these 2 gaps where I put it up, where I have the frame. And I'm totally okay with that. That gives me a place to embellish. So I am using some chipboard, which I'm going to peel all of the yucky chipboardiness off the back of it, because I don't like chipboard. It's really, I'm not a fan, which is probably why I still have so much chipboard left from these Cocoa Vanilla lines. Because I don't know. I used to buy it and sometimes I'd use it and I don't know. Something about it just irritates me. So yeah, no chipboard. Not for me. No thank you. But I do love my Cocoa Vanilla, and since I have it to use, I'm using it. So I'm going to fill in those gaps on the corners of my photo with just some cute little embellishment. So I was having a little bit of issues with my video software. So it decided that I needed to keep a lot of the song in. I wanted to like have it in the middle at the beginning and then in the middle where I was layering up and had nothing to talk about but still wanted to show you guys how I layer things, and then it insisted that I had to have it like all the way through. So I'm sorry if that was slightly annoying, but I hope that you were able to glean some good ideas from my leaving in of the layering part. So this little camera it's not a die cut, it's a sticker. And I love it, and it's super duper cute. And then this gray piece says picture perfect, and it's super duper cute. And the purpose of all of these things on the corners is just to make it look like that chipboard frame goes all the way around my photo. That's his point. Okay, so now I have all these squares, and I'm just going to kind of decide where I want them and how I want them on my layout. And while I love the painted squares, I realize that I'm going to need some more different things other than just the squares that I had painted. I'm going to need some different patterns to go with those squares. I also went ahead and grabbed a sticker from one of the sticker sheets and did my little bit of journaling that I have. And you can see that right there. And now I'm going to start layering up these squares that I painted with some of the squares from the patterns that I had. And I'm going to use a ton of wet Scotch glue on this layout because that Scotch glue, the wet glue needed to happen. And it needed a lot of it. These all really needed heavy duty glue to stick to the paper with the shimmers on it. So just an FYI, if you're going to try a similar technique, you're going to need lots and lots of wet glue to keep it all stuck down, which I'm fine with. So, and as you can see there, my paper warped. So the kind of like the thing that they keep talking about with this paper, like, you know, they keep talking about how it doesn't warp. It warps, totally warps. It didn't warp any more or any less than my Basil marshmallow cardstock. So, hold on one second. My puppy wants to come in. Bye, puppy. So now I'm taking all of these different squares and I'm just popping them out, inking them up, and layering them on top of each other. So I used some of the pattern papers that I used for the rest of the layout. Or, you know, like the ones I did for my layers. I'm so tongue-tied today, guys. I'm so sorry. And I used them in those to layer up with the squares. And yeah, so lots of glue, overlap them, different sized squares, and just keep overlapping and adding squares with lots of glue until you are very happy with the results. And that's pretty much it. And so now I have it set up pretty much the way I like it. I've added these two adorable little bows. Again, Cocoa Vanilla Studio. I'm going to add some little stickers here and there. I'm just kind of addressing some embellishments here. I'm kind of deciding what embellishments I want to use. Addressing is the wrong word. I mean auditioning embellishments. Oh, me and talking not working today. So now I've kind of decided where I want everything. I'm just giving everything kind of a last look. See if there's just anything else I want to add. And the only thing I decided I want to do is add some enamel dots. So these are silver and black enamel dots. And I start out kind of sprinkling the silver ones around and just doing the silver because I had the Hi-Ho silver shimmers in the background and such. But then it dawned on me that I did place that black memories bit at the bottom, and there's no other black on my layout, so it's just not anywhere. So what I'm going to do here is you're going to see that I'm going to like pull off some of the silver ones and add some of the black ones, just so that we definitely have the black going on in more than one spot than just that one little area. So now we have a little more black, and that memories looks a little bit more cohesive. And that will complete this layout. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next month. Bye.